Hey everyone, my name is Vinochan Parasuraman, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about the power of self-talk. I want you guys to think about how your day goes, all the noise, conversations, and situations that happen throughout your life, the talks with your parents, teachers, and friends. We're just constantly communicating with the outside world. But inside, there's another conversation constantly happening. It's completely silent, but it never stops talking. It first starts when you wake up in the morning and ends when you sleep at night. It's like Jarvis from Iron Man, but not as helpful. I like to call this voice my personal narrator. Scientifically, it's called your conscience or your thoughts, and we call it self-talk. Throughout these years, I've realized that this self-talk is not just some random background noise in our lives. It's actually the most influential voice in all of our lives, but mostly in a bad way. Whenever we make little mistakes, this voice is always there, immediately to say negative things about us and demotivate us. And we need to learn how to change this. We need to learn how to change this from negative to positive. And that's what I'm going to tell you right now. So get ready to listen because it's really important. First, I'm going to tell you when I met my inner voice. The first time I met my inner voice. It was when I was playing basketball for a recreational league in my town. See, I love playing basketball. I practice it every single day with my friends and my coaches. But when it comes to playing in front of an audience, things change. I tend to get really nervous and anxious, and I start messing up. I get scared to even touch the ball. Just like this, in one of my basketball games, I was feeling really prepared. I had practiced weeks before that game, so I knew I would do good. At least I thought I would do good. The first play of the game, I had the ball in my hands. I was dribbling it up the court, and I saw my teammate wide open. I was just about to pass it to him. Then the defender swatted it out of my hands. Then he dribbled the ball and he scored it. That mistake shattered all the mental preparation that I had done before that game to not get nervous and anxious. And just after that one little mistake I made, the voice started talking. Just give basketball up. You're so bad. Go sit on the bench. It said really negative things to me that really brought my self-confidence down. I decided that I need to change this. And I thought, what made me do so bad, even though I was so prepared? Then it hit me. It was my self-talk. My self-talk was so negative that even after one little mistake, it made me to think bad about even myself. And I thought about ways of how to change that. And one of the ways that I decided was to just completely ignore the voice. Because when you ignore something, it has no meaning in your mind. So it doesn't stick to your mind or influence you. So this time, instead of physical preparation for the basketball game, I worked a little bit more on my mental preparation. I worked on ways to consciously realize there's a negative thought in my mind and ignore it. And the day of the next game came. I was wide open in the corner. I got past the ball, and every time I shot it, I had no thought in my mind. I just shot the ball, and it didn't matter if it went in or it didn't. Because everyone makes mistakes, because we're humans. So there's nothing to worry about, because we'll just learn from our mistakes. And that's exactly the mindset I had for the next game. Even if I missed, I didn't care. And that's what helped me to do better in the next game. I had 20 points, and I was star player of that game. So I felt really good about myself just because of one little change I made in just ignoring the thought. At that time, I realized how much of an influence that this negative voice has on you. But I also realized that there isn't just one inner voice inside of your head. There's actually two. One of them is a critic. The second one is like your best friend. The first one was the voice I met at the basketball game. Its job is to predict every negative thing that can happen in a situation, and it just instills fear inside of you. It has really strong authority, so it's very easy for it to make you believe what it's saying is right. This one is obviously the critic. The critic always says negative things, even for small mistakes. Let's say I trip and I fall on the ground. The critic would immediately say, "You're so clumsy," or "You're so uncoordinated." Or, let's say I'm joining a new school. The critic would immediately say again, "Uh-oh, you're not going to make any friends. All of them are set together, and you'll just be a random kid that showed up." So its job is to scare you and embarrass you. But that's not its only job. Not just to make you feel scared or embarrassed. It also wants you to stay inside of your comfort zone and not leave it. This makes you scared to try new things because you're gonna be afraid you're gonna mess up. And that limits your potential, which can really be a downgrade for our success. So if we want to be successful and want to make our dreams come true, we need to break out of the safe zone. We cannot let the critic get into our mind. And that's how we can be successful. Then there's another voice. This one is usually overpowered by the critic's yelling. This one is a positive voice. You would use this voice when you're trying to say good things about yourself or others. Think about it like the voice you use when you must talk to a friend that's feeling down. You wouldn't say harsh or mean things to them, right? That's exactly why you would use this voice for, to say positive things to you and other people. This positive best friend of a voice that we all need always says reassuring and positive things that build your self-confidence up. Let's say I'm nervous for a big presentation that I have to do to. And this voice would console me. It would say, "You're really prepared for this. You got this. You got nothing to be afraid of." Things like that. Or if my friends were feeling down, like I said the last time, this voice would help me console them. That's exactly the purpose of this voice. And we would use this voice to break out of the safe zone the negative critic has kept us in. So I know I've been talking about we need to break out of this negative, we need to change this negative critic to the positive best friend. But I haven't actually told you any ways to do that. Well, now I am. There's 3 ways I personally like to use to change this negative critic to the positive angel. First one is treat yourself like your own best friend. What I mean by this is that don't say things to yourself that you wouldn't say to your best friend. Would you call your best friend dumb? No. So why would you call yourself dumb? That just demotivates you. And the second one is a 3-letter word, yet. This word carries so much power that we are all unaware of. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," or "I can't do that," say, "I can't do this yet," or "I can't do that yet." Just adding that word "yet" at the end of a sentence creates a sense of possibility in us, which will make us work towards and take the steps in what we want to achieve. So always never say, "I can't do this." Say, "I can't do this yet." The third one, which I personally use a lot of times, is challenge the thought. For this, you would have to consciously realize there's a negative thought in your head. And We cannot let an imaginary voice inside of our head boss us around. We must fight back to it. And you might ask, how do we do that? Well, you must challenge the thought. Ask it a counter argument question. Let's say I have a big math test tomorrow, and the negative thought immediately says, you're going to fail the math test. I can't just take that inside of my head, and just know I'm going to fail. I have to fight back to the thought. Ask it, how will I fail if I'm really prepared for this test? I guarantee you the thought will vanish out of your mind because it can't answer that question. Because how will you fail if you're really prepared for a test? So those 3 ways will definitely help you to break and change that negative voice to the positive voice. And they work for me, so I hope they'll work for you too. I'm going to tell you a story now, a personal experience, how I implemented these strategies. So I've been living in the US for most of my life. And there, I went to a Tamil school every Friday. And we had to do a play, an old Tamil play for that Tamil school. And I had one of the main roles as Lord Shiva with the most dialogues. See, if it was normal Tamil, it wouldn't have been that hard because I speak Tamil at home with my parents and they taught me everything about it. So it wouldn't have been that hard if it was normal Tamil. But this was different. It was olden, like traditional Tamil. It's completely different than the Tamil we speak. The letters, the pronunciation, everything. It was like learning a new language for me in a span of 2 weeks. But I tried my best. I practiced every single day with my mom, and I rehearsed every single day with my group mates. So I knew I was prepared. But on the day of the performance, I had my costume on. I was sitting on a stage just like this, with the curtains closed and with a lot of audience behind it. The voice tried speaking to me. You're gonna forget all your lines. You're gonna mess up. Everyone's gonna laugh at you. The voice started whispering in my ear. But I completely ignored it and I challenged it. I will not fail if I'm prepared. I got this. I said some positive and reassuring things to myself also. And that made me calm down. I wasn't nervous or anxious anymore. And it made me feel better about myself. And that performance, I did so good that our group won first prize in the whole competition. And that made me realize more how much this positive self-talk can affect your mental health and confidence. Now I'm going to talk to you about a good, like the perfect mindset you can have. Whenever you're free at home or school, always say positive and reassuring things about yourself out loud. Don't just whisper it inside of your head, say it out loud. Because when you say things out loud, they carry more power, so they can easily influence you more rather than you saying it inside of your head. Say things like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. This creates something like self-love for yourself. And you will feel better about yourself and not feel down anymore. Second is hard work. I know you guys might be wondering, what does hard work have to do with self-talk? Well, it has a lot to do with self-talk. See, when we want positive self-talk is just us making ourselves believe we can do something. And in order to make ourselves believe, we need to put the work behind it. If I have a test tomorrow that I haven't studied for, but I say to myself, I can pass this test, I can pass this test, I won't pass the test because I haven't studied. So in order to make yourself believe you can do it, you need to have actually studied, or in this case, prepared for the test so you can pass. The self-talk is just motivation to not make you feel nervous or anxious. But we all need to put in the hard work if we actually want to achieve something. And then if we combine these two, there's no way a negative thought can get into your mind and influence you, because we've learned all the strategies and ways we can get rid of this negative self-talk or change it to positive self-talk. So now you won't be really nervous or anxious if you use these strategies. And I use them personally, and it's actually worked for me. Even before this speech, I used them. So I hope you guys use them too, and it works for you. So to sum everything up that I said, never say negative things to yourself ever, because it just brings you down, and what we say to ourselves shapes us as a person. So when we say negative things, it will make us a negative, gloomy person. But when we say positive things to ourselves, that will make us a better, wholehearted person. So I hope all of you guys use these strategies, and I hope it works for you. And I hope all of you guys achieve and get to your dreams. Thank you.